Afternoon, sir. My name is Ling. I'm from Degree Design Student 4, and I'm going to present about Project 2, which is the new grammar of ornament. So, in the new grammar of ornamentation, it is actually expressing about the process of the line, the thread occurring inside the loom, which you can see in this abstract art. So, there's mainly 3 points in this abstract art, and the first is the repetition of lines. So as you can see that it's like line is repeated and intersected in layers. And the unique point is the line is all the same, but that just that the orientation and also the direction of the line is just different. So after that, I added up the color and the texture of the line. So you can see there's like slightly colored and the texture can be seen on the abstract art. So it ended up forming a image just like the textile, but it's the thing that you look at the perspective of the abstract art. When you zoom it through in, you can't really see that it's actually forming the pattern that which is look like the Thai traditional textiles, but it's just like a random lines. But when you zoom it out, you can see the whole picture of it. So for the inspiration of this abstract art, there's actually two. The first is that the line forming textile, which is the process of the and the evaluation of the textile, the Thai textile. And second one is there's a pattern is forming between the line, which is very fascinating for me. So I try to make these two inspiration making into one draft. So I attempt to composite all the lines and the pattern. So and capturing the motion of the bending of the thread on the loom. So and I capturing the process and the flow of the thread on the loom. But I find out it's a bit dull because of black and white. And I found it's like too much thing is happening on one drawing, so I decided to having the final result, which is shown in this. Uh, yeah. So after that, for the ornamental beading element, I'm actually expressing it from the 2D drawing, so I translate it into a 3D form. So it's actually like an entrance or transition of space. So this is like there's no rules for this entrance or transition of space. It's just a freedom that any 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 frame that you can go through that is an entrance, that is a pathway. And it impose the feeling of people is tangled into the space. So it's kind of trapped in the space. So for the process of the building elements, at first also idea is coming from the motion of the thread in the loom, which having the same intention in the abstract art, which is like the line different that many lines is forming a pictures or elements. So after the first draft, I try to simplify it into a form, but it comes up to be a more organic form. But it's not very suitable for my abstract drawing, so I coming into a linear kind of form. But I found it's too rigid and sequence, so in the end I tried to be many linear, many like light structures, but in more randomly placed in a final. So coming to the design intention collage, this collage is actually having a hint about the site synthesis and the programmatic layers. So at first I make this collage in the background that having a collage of lines and patterns, which having me to inspire the program of upcycling, which I will be explaining later what is it. And and I when you see there's a loop of a cloth in a drawing, which is It's actually inspired from that how the female traditional costume, there's actually having a cloth wrapping around the body without a zip or a button. So I just want to capture the motion of it. So having the loop of a cloth. And inside the loop is actually showing the process of making a textiles. And the human inside the loop is actually like the people is working inside the craft center, and the people outside the loop is more like a visitor that the outsiders are coming to know about the craft and also learn experience about the craft. So it shows the openness of the craft center. So upcycling the program, which I mentioned just now, is actually a creative reuse, a process of transforming byproducts, waste materials, useless or unwanted products into new materials or products perceived to be greater quality, such as artistic value or environmental value. So why I choose upcycling is actually like most of the traditional costume is very costly and also only can be worn on a special event or yeah. And so I try to make like traditional costume into more diversify into different kinds of qualities, and so it can be wear daily. And why do I choose upcycle instead of recycle? It's actually because of recycle is actually cannot be done in cotton and silk, because it just is a process of converting materials and products into new materials of lesser quality. So it only can be done on synthetic fiber, but instead of natural fiber. So as you can know that the silk, the use of silk and cotton is actually really wasting the natural natural resources. So I just want to try to reduce it. And it's actually also a new explore of embracing the beauty of collage of the Thai textile pattern as the process of upcycling. And so coming to a site analysis, after the studies, I have found that there is actually four types of building, existing building on the site. So the first is the clustered form housing area, which is at the left side of the site of the proposed area. It's actually poor maintained. It's more like a just simple timber structure housing. So, and the blue is showing the Bang Kachao Pier, which also as the bicycle or motorbike rental rental shop. And the orange is showing the existing car park, and the red is showing the existing resort accommodation. So I'm trying to embrace the existing building. So I'm separating the spaces using the existing building. So in the next, so for the space planning for this program, I'm actually separated into the different existing building into different areas. So as you can see at the red part, which is also is originally the hotel, the resort area. I'm planning it into be the process of the making of textile at that area, which can be the whole floor that the examining clothes at the the cutting of the clothes, then the designing and the making and the finishing up of the clothes. Where the existing car park area is actually one of the part is still maintaining the car park, but much of the area will be used as the place where the collection of the clothes is happening, and where people drop off their old clothes there. So as the entrance of the from the inland of the Bang Kachao, there is actually a empty space which is framed in white color can be seen. It's actually an empty space there. Actually to having a hints like for of the process of the textile on the way to the main area. So it shows that the dyeing of the drying of the dye clothes there. So the beautiful scenery is can be experienced by the visitors. And the left side of the proposed site will be more on the activities of the selling and buying of clothes that I've done in this craft center. And the Bakachao Pier is more like exhibitions or a clothes showcase area in this site. So I've done a simple SWOT analysis on a site where the site is actually a shrine of great view and it have much greenery around the site, but it's not very easily to be noticed the entrance and the facade, which is blocked by the trees and also far away from the other side of the river. And there's opportunity to design a facade could be easily seen from the opposite of the river. And there's a threat of it could be blocked by the existing tree around the site. So for the site synthesis, there is a problem statement for it, which is the site is not actually obviously visible from the other side of the river and from the inland of the Bang Kachal side. So I try to having a approach of having a beautiful facade at the side of the river, which is able to be seen at the mainland at the other side of the river, so that people could be noticing the craft center. And the entrance for the Bang Kachau site, for the proposed area, could be more like a gateway, which I proposed as a building element. So it will be more like a frontal entrance, which is more like a transitional of the space where you are just going from a Bang Kachau into a new area into the craft center. So the path inside the craft center will be more focusing on two linear path, which is the main path for craft center, then having a intersection with spaces and like branches of path and lead to different spaces and which is lead to the different experience of the space. So that's all for me. Thank you.